Hey guys, it's Nemo and welcome to today's video, which is Operation Dynamo. Now I think I've covered all the operations but this one, so we may as well get it done. Now we're taking out the Cossack today, and the Cossack for Dynamo is just, it's awesome. It hasn't got the AA power of the Sims, but the gun power is brilliant. Now for those of you who haven't played Dynamo, it's a mission based on retrieving the soldiers, British and French soldiers from Dunkirk, the end of the British Expeditionary Forces failed expedition into France to help out in World War II. And so this is the Operation Dynamo, which was the evacuation of Dunkirk. Now have a look at this Mahan here. Now this has been happening a lot this week, with this operation being the operation of the week, and to tell you the truth, it's disgusting gameplay, it's selfish behaviour, and I don't mind calling players out for unsportsmanlike conduct, and I believe I actually did or do report him for that. So what they do is they sail off into the minefield and get killed right at the beginning of the game. And then, yeah, I did report him, there you go, for unsporting behaviour. What they do is they sail off into the minefield and get killed, and then they wait for the rest of the team to finish the game and they get the XP out of it. Now, this is a very easy operation to finish. My clan and I, we've done it with 4 players only on the off week when it's not the operation of the week, and we've 5 started with 4 players. So it's not that difficult to play, and it's actually quite fun. And when you whack a heap of flags with it on something like the Cossack here, as you will see in the post-battle results, you can make such a good lot of money and XP, and yeah, it's really good, and that's why, unfortunately, we're getting these grubs, and they're grubs, who are just getting killed. And if you have it, like, I'll show you the post-battle results screen at the end, he doesn't even finish on the bottom, which is disgusting. For doing nothing, for going and getting killed. He actually finishes higher than one of the players who has played in the battle with us. So anyway, enough about the grubs and their unsportsmanlike behaviour. This game, of this operation, actually is one that, if you can master the guns in this operation, is killing these little Schnell boats, then you're having such a good, it's really good for your World of Warships education, I guess, because these little buggers are so tough to line up and try and hit. So I'm doing a bit of a tandem turning here with the Leningrad. I wanted to try and stop, and the good thing about the Royal Navy destroyers is that they do stop pretty quickly. They can stop fast, and you can turn them on dime, and I like Royal Navy destroyers. The Cossack is amazing, and I will do a video on the Cossack. I'm just waiting for the holiday period to end and World of Warships to calm down a little bit. It has been very unpredictable in its in its gameplay, especially in random battles. And in saying that, we've even been caught out a couple of times in clan battles because there's just been all this absolutely non-meta play, and it's good to see, but it's also frustrating to try and play against, so we have to try and mix it up a bit. Anyway, I've gone out a little bit too far here, and I do pay the price, get bombed a bit, and my AA probably got wrecked a little bit more, and that's why I don't have as many AA kills as what I would like in this game. But it's not too bad in the end. So the reason I didn't put the fire out there is because I was waiting to see if that torpedo bomb was actually going to torpedo me, and he didn't end up getting shot down, so I was able to use my repair and put the fires out. Now you notice I've been bombed quite a number of times, and I have 250 of 500 men in my ship. So when you get bombed or torpedoed or whatever, or hit by the 88mm guns on the shore, you lose men. But I've noticed that you can't lose under 250 men. So even if you lose men, you're not going to have 0 men at the end of the battle. If you survive, you will always have 250 men minimum, which is, it's okay. It's not realistic, but it's okay. I mean, if you're going to kill guys off on your ship, then I'd just say, yeah, just dump them all off. But oh well. It's a good operation. It's fun to play. It's enjoyable, and you can rack up, as I said, you can rack up heaps of XP and credits. So the idea of this operation is to escort these guys up through that red, well, you don't want to go through the red punch, the minefield. And you saw what happened to Parks, who always goes and gets himself blown up. He dies in the minefield, and then as you're escorting these guys, they've got the Schnell boats here, which are super quick, the little fellas. And they've just got the frontal torpedoes. It's quite crazy. And then you've got the Luftwaffe everywhere. And I think the most planes I've shot down was about 80 in a Sims. Sims is great for this with AA, but the thing I like about the Cossack is that its guns are a lot flatter in their arcs, and so you can get rid of these little Schnell boats a lot better. I find that a good mix of ships would probably be 3 Cossacks, 4 Sims. That'll be great. Although one of my clanmates, Dream, did actually post on our Discord earlier on today a battle where it was the Sims pretty much. There was 6 of them and 1 Cossack. That would be AA overpowered. Nobody would be getting air kills really. You wouldn't farm 80 kills with 6 Sims in the game. So we push up through the channel, as anyone who's played this operation knows. If you haven't played the operation, you have a go at it. It's pretty fun. You can use destroyers from tier 6 and tier 7, and then if you have the Cossack, it's the only tier 8 that you can actually run. And it just, yeah, it can get pretty sporty, and there's a part coming up here when we get out of the edge of the channel where it does get sporty, and it gets so close it's not comfortable at all. And I wonder what that Gnevny was doing in this game. And maybe he was holding up the rear and looking for Schnell boats and things. Maybe he disconnected them. I'm not sure, but he ends up getting targeted by the Luftwaffe here, and not really going to help him out too much. He's a long way away from support, and unfortunate for him. Gnevny's not actually a bad ship for it. The only thing it really lacks is its AA power, and you want to have a good mix of AA. So if you're doing it, for example, as I said, with a clan or teammates or anything, make sure you've got 1 DD hunting destroyer and then 1 really good AA destroyer, whether one of the American ones, Mahan's AA, is actually pretty good. You can do some real good damage if you run the Sea Hull with the Farragut and you've got the defensive fire. So you do lose a gun, but if you're going in it with an American, you're more likely to want to be targeting aircraft than you are targeting the Schnell boats. The Schnell boats are quite quick, and the American arcs being floaty, it can be a little bit tough to get those shots in. Now, if you've noticed, while I've been aiming in this, my spider is not up. Now I usually use the aiming reticule where I have, see, as you can see here. Now this is off the replay, the World of Warships replays. I didn't actually record this game myself. What I did was I went back and pulled the replay, and so you won't see that. You won't see the spider I usually use for my aiming reticule. So if any battles I'm doing that have this sort of aiming reticule, I've pulled them off the World of Warships replay, and I've just done commentaries over the top of them. Unfortunately there, our Gnevny goes down. Now, he did end up getting killed in the end by a fort, so one of the gun batteries on the the shore over there, and then our Leningrad gets torpedoed by the aerodrome, and it's looking a little bit desperate. And I'm thinking to myself, I've done this with my clan with 4 players plenty of times, right from the beginning, so surely I should be okay, and that's what I'm hoping for. But you never know with random players, and those shore batteries, talk about accurate as. I mean, if everything was that accurate in World of Warships, people probably would get pretty salty. They accurate fire and they hit hard, these crazy little guns off the shore, but it adds for the fun of the game. Anyway, this is where it starts getting really sporty. All these little Schnell boats pop up, and there's only 4 of us left, and as you can see, our Eagle's off here. What a lot of ships that are quite quickly, the Eagle or the Leningrad, quite quick, sorry. Eagle or the Leningrad, or the Minsk will rush off from this point, drop their survivors off, and then they will come back and help out. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not, but yeah, it left us a little bit short here, but that's not too bad. We handled it okay, and they're right in amongst the convoy here, and I was like, oh, maybe I should drop a torpedo, but if I had dropped a torpedo, I wouldn't have done anything. And then they're so fast, these little ships, that when you try to get your reticule on them, you just can't. And as you can see, it's even the replays jumping it around a little bit. But I had good fun cleaning up these little fellas. One thing that we usually try to do when we've got a couple of Sims or American destroyers is take out these enemy fighters that come, because then if you take out the fighters, then you can let the Royal Air Force do the rest of the job, and they'll take out all the bombers, dive bombers and torpedo bombers for you, and it makes the game a whole lot easier. But unfortunately, having only 4 players, and then my AA wasn't that flash, and the Mahan and the Farragut and the Jarvis over there, sorry, were, they haven't got the best AA, but they were giving it a good hot crack and doing their best that they could. And the Eagle's on his way back, which is handy. As you can see, we're looking like we're going to lose a whole heap of our little transports here. At this point of this battle, I was thinking, I don't think we're going to 5-star this at all. There's almost no way we can do it, but anything can happen in World of Warships, and anything always does happen. So I dropped my smoke here. I'm trying to lay the little bit of cover as I can. It's not the best smoke. It's Royal Navy smoke, so it's only going to last for around 40 seconds, and it's not going to bloom very long. But it gave our Farragut time to get in there and blaze away with his AA and do it undercover, because he's not looking pretty healthy at the moment. And then there's more Schnell boats, and they just appear everywhere. And when you haven't actually got many players left on your team, it's really, really fun actually, because you do just go rampant like this here. And the Cossack is just so good for getting rid of these little guys. The Schnellbirds, you can get rid of them with 2 shells. Nice hits, and there's no armour on the little fellas and that. And then unfortunately I took 112, and I thought I was like going to die there. I just thought I was going to die there, and then lucky for me it hits the side, 19mm armour. You haven't got an armour belt or anything like that, but it didn't do too much damage, which was good. And I was able to repair and get back into the fight and keep taking them out. Now, it's just such a good operation. It's fun operation. You shouldn't worry about coming in and just wanting to farm XP. Like, play it. It's fun. And it's not hard. I mean, this would be the easiest operation to play. Of all the tier 6, 7, 8 operations that we have in the game, this is the one where you can almost be guaranteed to win it. So what I do here is I chase off this torpedo bomber, because I realised that we still need 2 torpedo bombers to kill. Otherwise we can't 5-star it, so I'm chasing off after them, and then I just want to get it as much as I can. I got one of them which was good, and someone else got another one, and we ended up getting that task complete, and then more little snell boats pop up, and after these guys I actually thought that was it. I thought, oh well, you know, I've finished here, and what, that's 25, and then this one's 26, and I was like, right, that's the game. I'll go and drop my guys off, and then our Jarvis takes a hit, and then more guys pop up behind me, and I was like, okay. So I turn around, and I think these guys are 27, 28, and 29. So it wasn't a bad game. I think I ended up finishing with 29. Yep. It's just fun. This is fun. It's just like shooting fish in a barrel. And then I was, well, it's time to go and drop my guys off. Now you don't actually have to, as the destroyers, a lot of players will get into the circle and drop their guys off. If you survive the end of the battle outside of the circle, but the convoy gets in, your people on your ship, so say that I've got 250 or 750 guys there, your guys on your ship are actually counted in the end total. So if I had 750 survivors on my ship and I was outside the circle, because the convoy is in there, they will still be counted. So you don't necessarily have to race off and get in the circle. The reason you want to keep following them to the circle is because of all those little snell boats pop up, and constant waves of aircraft. If you keep the Royal Air Force alive, then you don't get those constant waves of aircraft, because they'll eventually fly down towards the G line, their H line. See, as you can see, there's a fighter squadron down there already intercepting what's down there. And then all of a sudden the detector pops up, and I was like, I thought they were all gone. Surely they were all gone, but they're not. And unfortunately, I didn't get a kill on these little guys. They turned away in time, and that would I wanted to get 30. 30 would have been great, but 29 is pretty good. Anyway, a good little operation, a good one for making money, as you can see here. 868,000 credits, 16,000 XP, 7,000 free XP. Not bad at all for an operation. People don't like to play the operations because they think that it's against AI. But look how much you can farm. Credits, you need credits. Anyway, as you can see, the Mahan didn't finish on the bottom, unfortunately. But otherwise, we finished on top pretty well, and we had fun. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.